welcome to the Fans of the Forge Show. I'm Sean.
I'm Chris.
And we're going to start off tonight's episode with the latest Forge and Fire wrap-up, Season 6, Episode 22, The Foot Artillery Sword.
The Foot Artillery Sword. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, let's make a note. Teresa, we do miss you dearly. Still off at camp.
When's the last time you saw her?
A week ago.
Been that long. It's been that long.
It's been a little while. But yeah, you know. That's what our summer's going to be.
Yeah.
So, moving forward.
All right. So, our contestants this week, we have Levi Arbogast, part-time Smith, 20 years of experience. Chuck Stone, full-time Smith, 35 years of experience. John Phillips, full-time Smith, 18 years of experience. And he is at phillips.forged on the gram.
Yep.
And Tommy Rodriguez, part-time Smith with 5 years of experience. And he is at Ferrante Forge on Instagram.
He's a young guy. He was 18. I think.
Yeah. So, round 1. They're given toys that they need to take mild steel from to combine with a chunk of W1 bar stock.
Yep.
And they have to make a whatever they want, signature blade.
Right.
So each one had a toy on their anvil, was covered, you pull the cloth, fire truck, airplane, something.
They looked like some
toy robot.
They looked like some heavy-duty industrial toys to me.
Well, they look like they were from like the 40s when they things were beefy.
Yeah,
like, they were stout.
That's true. They were, especially when it was all wooden toys and stuff for kids. And
I was like, I don't know what the hell they're gonna do with them, but they did have some mild steel components on them.
Yep.
So. For Levi, he had the toy airplane, and so he decided to go with a camp chopper using Sanmai, and was setting his forge welds by hand.
Oof, that's tough.
Yeah, and he's beasting it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. He was grinding his blade, and then did a really hot quench.
Yeah, it was dramatic
yeah.
there.
Moving on to Chuck, he had a toy robot, and he looks like an off-season Santa.
Yep.
I was going for the Sanmai taco, and he put his taco on the spine.
Yeah, so he didn't get anywhere near the blade edge with the mild steel,
right.
So that was a good thought. And that was all I really put down for him.
For John, he had a toy train. He's going for a sandwich Sanmai. He welded his mild steel on, and then realized he welded it paint side towards the W1, so he had to cut that all off and flip it around to, I don't know why he just wouldn't clean it ahead of time.
Well, he cleaned half of it.
Right, but like, why just do half? I mean, if you're saving time, okay, but
you would think, I think
you could have this stuff. You're gonna be hammering it, and I guess it could burn off, but
it would burn off. If it was on the outside for sure.
Yeah,
but it was on the inside, and it was his own fault. You're trying to save time.
Yeah,
we get it. I get it.
Yep.
Anyway,
he was setting his welds on a power hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Did pretty well. Quenched really hot, and found 2 large cracks on his spine during grinding.
They weren't looking so good.
Another hot quench. Then Tommy had the toy fire truck, and he was taking the side panels off to do a Sanmai taco, and was going to make a kukri style blade. Right. He was drawing out the billet way too long in the press. Like, he got just mesmerized by the press, and he just drew this really long sword out.
Oh, yeah.
He abandoned his kukri design and decided to make a slicer.
It works.
Yeah.
Work with what you have.
He didn't really get a good forge weld, and eventually he got it, and then quenched it, only to find a large crack running down the weld edge.
Right.
And tries to get the weld to stick again, requenches, and has to deal with still having a crack. So he was kind of fighting that thing.
It didn't seem to me like that method would have worked, right? Usually they're like, once something like that happens, you're getting forge scale and stuff in there.
Stuff in
and
there,
stuff is getting in there. So to get it to try to just pouring flux in there is not going to necessarily make it do anything. So it kind of stunk, but he did what he could. So we have a couple blades at this point going into judging with cracks. Like they realize they have these cracks.
Yeah.
And
so for Tommy, he had some serious surface cracking. John was, a good working chopper shape, but had a deep crack.
Right.
Chuck, there's one spot that had a stress riser that needed to be dealt with, and for Levi, quenches blade so hot that it split the W1 core, which was a critical structural failure, and he ended up getting a boot.
Oh my goodness, that's crazy.
It was crazy.
The core itself split.
Yeah.
It wasn't the freaking forge weld. It was the core.
How many? It was like, 3 super hot quenches.
Yeah.
And
well, I don't know anything about what you're supposed to quench that type of tool steel at.
I would say it's pretty. I'd like to say it's standard.
Right.
They were all really super hot, and then I don't know if it was him or someone was like, I think it was him. He's like, oh, I realized I quenched it so, it was too hot.
Yeah.
And
but that was really I had no idea that much damage could get caused by that. That was huge.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Core.
Yeah.
Chernobyl it.
So for round 2, they have to add handles and guards to their blades, and they have 2 hours to do it. For Tommy, he started by grinding away material just to find another crack along the edge.
Yeah.
And then he used some Cocobolo for his handle material, and he had to add a bolster because it just wasn't seating properly.
Mm-hmm.
Then he stacks steel. He puts the whole thing, epoxies it up on the vise, and then just starts stacking stuff on top of it to weigh it down. He put steel, put some epoxy bottles.
Yeah, and his little dust mask.
Dust mask.
Yeah.
For John, he had to weld his spine to fix his blade, and then he gave it a temper on the spine after that to soften that back up.
Right.
He grabbed micarta for a guard, but in doing so, he also started cutting notches in his tang for the handle, and when he was cutting those out, the judges were saying that's really potentially weakening that whole thing.
Yeah.
He could break the knife at the tang. But
I understood the reasoning of what he was doing, but no.
Yeah, it just wasn't the right way to go about it. And then Chuck, he was working on fixing his stress riser, which looked kind of like a bubble or something,
like a bump.
Circle.
Yeah.
He used ironwood for his handle, but he was having some trouble drilling it. And then he had the blade in the vise, and he went to go move it.
He was trying to pull the handle material off. It was stuck.
Oh,
because I don't think he had epoxy on there yet.
He didn't.
He didn't. So
he was trying to pull it out, and the blade didn't come with him, and it sliced his finger.
Right.
It slammed into what he was pulling against, and then just sliced into his fingers. Yeah. And then they had to stop the clock
with 6 minutes left.
And have the medic come over and wrap up his hand so he could finish the last 6 minutes. And then he immediately went to get stitches done.
Yeah.
Which...
They'd never stopped the clock before.
No, that's serious. I mean, I think I wrote down later how many stitches he had. That was pretty serious cuts. It was 20 stitch, 15.
He was
stitches.
8, 5 or 8, 6 and 6 or something like that. I don't know.
It was crazy.
They've had guys almost pass out from being too hot, and they never stopped the clock for that.
They've had people medically evacuated, and I don't think they stopped the clock for that. If they did, they didn't make a point of saying anything about it.
Not sure why that happened this time.
I don't know.
No. Anyway.
Yeah. So they move on to testing. It was a steel Tonka truck chop, which I don't know how many times it was going to be striking it, but for Tommy, his broke on the 4th strike due to the multiple cracks in his blade. John just had to survive 4 hits, and he did. Mm-hmm. And Chuck could not test his blade because the handle wasn't attached at all. There was no epoxy. So even though Tommy's broke, Chuck ended up getting the boot and a bunch of stitches.
Yeah. All right. So for round 3, they are tasked with making the M1832 foot artillery sword. It's an American recreation of a French sword modeled after the Roman gladius. It has a brass ornate handle with feathers or scales cast into the handle. Also had eagle etched into pommel to honor America. Was used for clearing thick brush and disemboweling horses.
Yeah.
Damn.
Badass.
Parameters had to be between 19 and 21 inches long, have a double edge, and triple fuller. The dragon scale detail handle and a pommel needed to be included also. So, for Tommy, day 1, Carleaf spring for his steel. He likes it. He uses it a lot. And he was using an 8-pound hammer to move his metal.
That was his trick. His key was that 8-pound hammer.
Good trick.
Well, he's got the muscle.
Yeah,
to swing
he does,
that thing,
man.
So, like, if he can do it,
He was what you got. He got it.
I have trouble swinging my 2-pound hammers right now, so that's impressive. To be
serious.
he was moving that metal.
Day 2, he was forging the guard and pommel. Starts grinding his bevels. Slips and screws up his edge. When he was grinding, it caught.
Yeah.
So he has to grind the edge back to kind of fix that. And on day 4, he's working on his handle and attached it and decided to go for a burn-in.
Right.
For John, day 1, works on Damascus for his blade, multiple stacks, and then ends it with a twist. Starts working on his handle, and he casts his handle, which is pretty awesome. And it's something he's done plenty of times. He had
setup.
All the material for that stuff.
Yeah.
He has dragon scale to his positive, using a wood burner, which is pretty cool.
That was really neat. How he just was going over it with that one corner shape that he had, and it gave him the dragon scale.
And he finished casting the handle on day 4, and has a whole foundry to work with, and it came out looking awesome.
That was badass. Yeah. That handle was so amazing, dude.
Yeah. So moving on to testing, they are outside in the snow.
For some reason.
Why not? So they have a kill test, ballistics dummy assault.
Yes.
For John, gorgeous. Good weight for delivery strikes. It will kill. For Tommy, it is a beast. And it was a beast.
That was a big sword.
It's a lot of forward weight. It still has a very sharp edge. It takes a lot of work to control it. It will kill.
Indeed it will.
Yeah. For the strength test, it is the shooting the blade test.
Oh, that's why they're outside.
Oh, what do you know?
At a shooting range.
Yeah, but Will Willis is not performing the shots this time.
What happened?
I don't know. He got outsourced.
That's crazy. They brought back the robot.
They took his job. So for John, it split the bullet nicely. There was no blade damage.
Mm-hmm.
For Tommy, it took some damage, a small chip and a roll. And Dave Baker also mentioned it was very heavy. Then moving on to the sharpness test, a shot bag slice. For John, it's fun to wield and move around. It will cut. And for Tommy, it cuts cleanly. For the most part, it will cut. It's still a little hard to control, so some of the cuts were not as Doug wanted, but
yeah, a little bit of dragging rather than slicing through.
Yeah. So in the end, Tommy ended up getting a boot, and congrats to John at Phillips Forged for his win.
Congratulations! It was an epic sword that he made there. The Damascus with that handle was really crazy. Yeah. And I've been checking out some of the stuff that he has on Instagram. He's got a good number of followers. He's making some cool stuff. So
nice.
It's cool to find out about this guy.
Yeah.
So that's it for our Forge and Fire wrap-up. So
what's next?
What's next? We are doing our social media roundup, I believe.
Sounds good to me.
So for the social media roundup this week, we have a couple things we wanted to chat about. Sean, why don't you go first with something you wanted to talk about?
All right. So real quick, start with the sad news. So Peter Schwartzbert, he's getting his shop set up, the containers. He's got things moving along.
Big Hawaii move.
Yeah,
you know that. He moved to Hawaii with his whole shop.
Yeah, and he's been posting a lot of pictures about it, and it's been really cool to see it come together.
He had a video of him working with Neil Kimamura to get the press into his new shop and everything.
And some people decided, hey, look at this stuff. I think I can figure out where he is, and they ended up taking like a welder, a chainsaw, some other shit.
They cut the lock, yeah.
Yeah, so that really sucks for Peter.
Our hearts go out to you, Peter, because that really does suck. And I guess everybody just send Peter some good vibes.
Maybe enact some volcano justice out there.
Volcano justice.
Yeah, that's right. And then the other thing I want to talk about is so I noticed today that Josh Weston posted something that his grinder like shit the bed on him, so he needed to sell. He had some stuff that he wanted to sell to kind of get some funds, and he had some good looking stuff here. He had these blacksmith knives for $100 each with sheaths, leather sheaths. But what really caught my eye was the shark knife. It had a bottle opener on it, and that thing just looks really mean, really awesome, and it was only $75.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It went, but
pretty quick. I'm sure.
That was. I like that design a lot.
I was seriously considering messaging him and be like, dude, I'll take it. I'll take it right now. But it was gone before I could even get in there.
So I think there might be some things left. If you're interested, go check out Josh Weston. Some cool stuff there he's selling. And that's
that. So
that's that for me.
Help sell some stuff for Josh and get his grinder back up and running. Speaking of Josh Weston, I'm going to be going to an event this weekend to see Josh Weston compete.
Get out of town.
Yeah, it's happening at the New England School of Metalwork. There is the Bladesmithing Symposium, I guess they're calling it.
Okay, yeah.
And it's a whole weekend of events. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be there for most of the Friday stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But Saturday, there's all these different classes with Lynn Ray and Nick Rossi and some other people that it looks like a really cool event. And I've been super excited to go, since I bought the ticket. And it's kind of weird because I just recently joined the ABS too. Like I got a membership to that, and this is an ABS event. And so...
You're going to fit right in, bro.
I feel like I'll probably fit right in, but I'm nervous about going and meeting some of these guys.
Did you get a membership card or something? Can you flash that?
I didn't even get one.
Do you have an email from them? Can you just walk around flashing this around? No, it's everyone else.
It's everyone else?
Yeah, check it out. I'm in the ABS.
I don't know. I don't know if I get a card at some point. Maybe I do. I think I've seen people with cards or certificates. I don't know if I fully qualify as an
You can
ABS
totally make your own
yet.
certificate.
Well, I'm not going to do that.
There's designs online.
I just joined the ABS because I wanted to see what their whole deal's about.
You know what? You can... let me tell you right now, you can make your own, quote-unquote ID card, online, if you want to make something just of your own design. Not anything, not forgery, but, you can make, a business, but, plastic.
Okay.
So, almost like a badge. You can make one online and have it say whatever you want on there.
That's true. A
guy I work with did this one time.
And what did he put on it?
He wanted it to look like he was working for this other company so he can get a hotel discount. Because he knew the discount code for this major company, and so he used it. But he was going to have to provide proof. So he went online a couple weeks before his trip, got his little badge, and then when he came back, he said it worked like a charm.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Ingenuity.
I guess so. We did not teach anybody how to do anything just now. That was not any...
listen, you got to know what these codes are.
Yeah, you do have to know.
You could probably research online, but, it's... I use AAA sometimes. That's it. Because I'm in AAA. It's easy. It's not much discount, but it's something.
Right. Anyway.
I wonder if there's an ABS code.
I don't think there's an
Probably
ABS
not.
code. Anyway, so that's that. I'm excited to go to this event and take part in some of these classes. And
where is it? It's up in Maine.
Up in Auburn, Maine.
Nice.
So I got to drive ahead of me tomorrow.
Yeah.
And I'm going to try to attend the instructor's dinner that's going on.
Cool.
They said it's open to everybody, so I assume that means that.
Well, at least you know Josh.
Yeah. Well, Josh, also, his flight out there today got canceled. It moved to tomorrow, so hopefully he makes it in tomorrow for it. We'll find out, I guess, the next time we talk about it. Because he's the one, competing.
Yeah. That'll be a good time.
It'll be good.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Ryan Brewer is going to be there.
Oh, killer.
So that'll be cool. See him, too. And
yeah.
I'm sure there's other people that I maybe met that are probably going to be there, too. So it looks like it's going to be a fun event.
Nice.
The other bit of information I just wanted to bring back up is if you are a knife maker and you wanted to be a part of the Straight Razor Challenge, we did a video a week or two ago with Mike Poor of Red Dragon Forge, and he was challenged to make a straight razor by his friend, and a lot of people got in on the competition. So it's Marcus Random, Tyler Hackbarth, who was the Fortune Fire Battle of the Branches tournament winner.
Yep.
And then there was Steve Schwartzer, ABS Mastersmith, aka the Wizard, also entered and has sent his pictures in, and I've seen pictures from Tyler and Marcus as well. I think there may be a few more people, including Mike of Red Dragon Forge, and I should probably look this up to see when exactly this thing ends. You have till July 20th.
Oh.
So you have, today's the 11th, you have 9 days. If you want to get into this contest, you need to make a straight razor and send pictures to fansoftheforge@gmail.com, and then we're going to post all of them at once we have all the entries in.
Cool.
So check it out. That's the hashtag Straight Razor Challenge.
Nice.
So that is our social media roundup.
Done.
Now we can move into
now we can log off
the internet and go to the Infinite Forge.
The Infinite Forge. So
it's been a busy couple weeks for me since, the last time we recorded. Yeah. I did manage to get back outside and get out some time in the forge, work on some horseshoes, trying to make them into hooks. And I messed around with my Maker's Mark there, which you're not going to be able to see well here, but if you go on the Infinite Forge Instagram account, you'll see these. Did you see those, Sean?
Not in the flesh.
So
I saw them on the interwebs.
I was having some trouble getting the Maker's Mark to properly take on some of the bigger pieces because I was trying. You need 3 hands with my current setup, so it was very difficult doing it. So I ended up just flattening some coins and then using them just so I could see what it looked like. So that's what those are.
Cool.
But I thought it was kind of neat to see what they finally look like in metal.
Yeah.
And I got a couple hooks that I'm essentially going to say I'm done with. They don't look pretty, but they're functional. And I was able to make them out of horseshoes and get some practice in. So that's
and I can hang shit up in your shop with them.
Well, these ones are going up to camp. Because they came
so much for that.
All right. I'll make more.
Next time.
I have about 100 horseshoes. All right. So that was what I worked on in the forge this week. And I was just kind of practicing using the horn on one of my pieces of steel just to kind of make some shapes and stuff. So that was kind of fun.
How's the anvil working out?
It's good.
Is that rust busting off of there?
A little bit.
Yeah.
I was expecting it to come off a little bit more, but I'm not using it. I've only used it for a couple hours, really, so it might take some more time. The base works really well, and it's not really moving on me inside the shop too much, which is nice. And I don't have the most ideal setup because the forge is outside, and the anvil and the vise are inside. But I'm getting used to the rhythm of it at least, so I can easily get something out of the forge, get up to the anvil, and start working on it.
Yeah.
And, all it made me realize is that I need to get some more tongs or make some different tongs because none of the tongs I have work for holding any of the stuff that I'm working on properly.
Oh.
So I had some longer poles that I was basically had one of my high heat gloves on and was holding it at the very end and working on the hot end while I held on to it.
Gotcha.
But you can't do that with horseshoes and stuff. So I kind of need to get a fire tong, which is what they have that are better for horseshoes. And then I do have some knife steel that I want to start messing around with. So you need box jaws, they can hold the big.
Yeah.
I have 1.5 inch freaking knife steel to mess with. So you need something that'll be able to hold that. So I need to get something. But anyway, that's what's going on in the shop.
Cool.
I got some practice in. Oh, and then I finished actually putting all the nails in the outside wall boards that I put up. I had run out while I was doing the last wall boards. Had to buy another box of nails, and so that's all
nice. Set. All buttoned up.
Pretty much, man.
Cool.
It's cool to be able to get out there and actually use it and actually feel like I'm learning something.
Did all that work, and it's paying off.
Yeah.
Good.
What about you?
So last time I was talking about the job ahead of me that was the bathtub reglazing or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
So I did that. It was kind of a pain, but it came out looking pretty good. I took a couple pictures. I didn't have a lot of before pictures up, but it was okay. It was tough. Good lighting goes very far in this world when it comes to a lot of things.
Sure.
Just having the little bathroom light wasn't great in doing it at night.
Oh, yeah.
And, it was just really hot. And so, part of the instructions say, okay, put on a coat, you use a good paintbrush, one coat, wait an hour or two, then go for a second coat. And when you do the second coat, go opposite of the brush stroke. So if you start going, horizontal, next on the second coat, go vertical.
Okay.
And then another challenge I came up with or I encountered was that, because there's curves on the tub and stuff like that. So if I'm going this way, then it goes this way. But if I'm on the floor, trying to go long, then when it meets the back, then it's going up.
Oh, yeah.
And then, so it's okay, I got to stop at some point. And then doing a second coat, it was really tough. So I don't know if that paint, if you will, was just the brush was just not happy with it anymore, and it was just really hard to put on, and then it was hard to see where I left off because now everything was pure white.
Oh.
Right, so the tub before wasn't, so it's easy to see when I did the first coat, but now the second coat, everything's white, and I'm putting the same white on top of that, so it's hard to see where I left off, and then if you look really close, if you get your face up to it, you can see oh, that looks kind of weird. You can see some brush strokes, and I think I missed a little coverage here and there, but all in all, it came out pretty good, and it's in use. And I don't know if I talked about all the crap I had to deal with the old valves.
Yeah,
the shower valves and stuff.
Yeah.
No one can match these freaking things, all right? They're so old, and I don't know what the deal is, all right? I've gone to 2 plumbing stores. They've gone through their big catalogs and shit. No one knows what the hell they are.
Oh, gee.
Right, so I just was throwing whatever gaskets and O-rings that I had at them to try to rebuild them. It didn't go well, but it went well enough where it's not like a horror show of water shooting at you when you take a shower, which is fine. However, when you're done taking a shower in there, you have to open up the linen closet. It's right behind it, and then turn off the water because it's just there's going to be a drip all day long just because they don't shut off completely.
Yep.
So the next project for that is going to be, I guess I'm going to have to open up the back side, see if I can remove and just put some new shit in there.
Yeah.
Because at this point, it's just so dumb. No one's called me back. Oh, yeah, we'll look at it. We'll call you back. No, I'm not getting any phone calls. I know jackasses. Anyway, the other thing that I did last Friday was put a new muffler and tailpipe on the Jeep. So I had this Flowmaster on there that was on there forever, which lasted a really long time, which is great because I stopped buying the cheap junk OEM, quote-unquote, Walker mufflers. Guys, if you're out there and your muffler goes and you're oh, look at these Walker mufflers. They're $40, right? And Rock Auto. Don't buy them. Don't do it. They're garbage, especially if you live in a wet climate.
Right.
Right? We get a lot of snow and rain and salt and crap on the roads. It eats through those mufflers like you wouldn't believe. They don't last more than 2 years before you got to replace them again. Don't buy them. So I did that a couple times. I learned my lesson. I bought a Flowmaster. It lasted me, I don't know how many years, 5, 6 something years. And finally, the output stub pipe like rusted out, let go. The tailpipe was already on its way out. Like one of the hanger mounts had rusted, completely gone. So I took the tailpipe off because it had just basically disconnected from the muffler. It was really loud and annoying to drive with that for a whole week. Like you wouldn't believe, even though the muffler was still attached. So I ordered MagnaFlow online because Flowmaster was good. I actually picked up a couple more miles per gallon when I put it on years ago.
Really?
Yeah. It made a difference, but it was a little loud. So I was kind of getting a little. I was used to the drone, but I was kind of annoyed by it somewhat. So I was looking at the MagnaFlow. Some reviews said it was a little quieter. I said, all right, cool. So I went with that. It's stainless steel. Got it on Friday. I was pulling into my driveway. The guy was dropping it off, which is cool. And then I picked up a tailpipe from like Pep Boys, and then I threw it all together. And it's really quiet now. And so that was that. And then I had a bunch of high heat spray paint laying around, and it was like white. I don't know why I had this white paint, but so I painted the tailpipe to kind of help give it a coating so it would not rust out as quickly. And so we'll see what happens in a couple of years.
Yeah.
So
wow. That's good though. They put some good work in this.
It's my ordeals,
man. Yeah. I wouldn't want to do either of those jobs. I tapped out on car work years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah. Well, interesting, but cool.
Good times.
Yeah, good times. Well, we keep ourselves busy.
Yeah, no doubt.
And so that's that. That's our Tales from Infinite Forge. We move on to our final segment. Right? We covered everything?
We're going to put this in there too?
Oh, we could talk about this too. I just happen to have this on the table with me here. This is my Swedge block.
Swedge.
That I got from, I still never asked the guy how he pronounced his name, but I think it's Basemeyer Farms.
Sure.
Or Forge, and you can look it up. And he's a machinist. He machines these, and he's definitely sold a bunch of them, and they're pretty neat. They're mini versions, and you can still do quite a bit with it, I'm sure. I haven't gotten it out in the shop yet, but I will soon.
Cool.
So that's that. So now we move on to our last segment.
Yeah. Knife speak?
Not knife speak.
Blade speak?
Blade speak.
Blade speak.
Blade speak.
Our blade speak for this week. If you don't know what blade speak is, we pick a term or something we didn't know about the knife making industry, knife making in general, blacksmithing, that sort of thing. And we talk about this thing that we didn't know. We'll get a definition and kind of go into some details on why it's important. And this week's is knife axe.
Knife axe.
Or a knife axe combo.
Ah.
So,
pray tell, what is that?
Well, let's start at the beginning. When we went to Blade Show, Sean picked up...
In the beginning, there was Adam and
Sean picked up a copy of Knife Magazine.
Yeah, they were free. They were
free.
They were hanging out.
And it was all about the ABS auction knives for Blade Show.
Yeah.
So they had them stacked there. Sean grabbed this, and he also grabbed the June edition.
Yeah.
And I just got around to finally looking at this, and I came across this article about Western Knife Axe Combos. Right there. And you can look this up. I'm sure you can find it hopefully online. If not, get a copy of Knife Magazine. But this article is by Marv Klink, or Klinke. What'd you think? Klink. And it goes into this detailed story about these knife axe combos that were built back in the 1930s up to 1950. And they were axes. It was an axe and knife combination that came together in one sheath that had two separate pouches.
Yep.
And they shared a handle. And you could remove it from the axe and put it on the knife, and vice versa. And they go in depth about how they designed the tangs of this thing to make it work.
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, it didn't really work so great. The designing for the tangs had some weak points, so these things were breaking. The first batch of these things were breaking under not much use. And then they had a second version where they kind of straightened it out. But from what I could understand from the article, it seemed as if they never really gained popularity, potentially because of the fact that the handling could be an issue, even with the updated design. But it really goes into specifics about how they designed this and how they made it so that you could interweave or interchange the handle from one to the other fairly easily. And it's really cool. It was a really interesting article about that. And there's not much else I can say about it. I didn't know that they ever existed, but they were being sold as combinations. And yeah.
It was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. And I mean, hey, we're not sponsored by Knife Magazine, but I've been finding
There's some really cool stuff in there, I gotta say.
I've only breached the first 15 pages of this one, and I still have the whole June one to look through still. So it's going to be busy catching up on all this, but that's some good stuff. That was an interesting article, so you should check it out. The Knife Axe Combos.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's our show. Thank you for watching. If you've stuck with us through the whole episode, thanks even more.
All right.
And thanks everybody who follows us and subscribes. And if you don't already, please subscribe to the YouTube. Follow us on Instagram or Facebook. We're all of those places. We are at Fans of the Forge. And yeah, that's it. Anything else going on, Sean?
I don't think so.
All right.
So, arrivederci.
We'll see you next time.
Arrivederci. 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 Arrivederci.